Good. So let's go x squared minus 7x
plus 2x
plus
minus
2x
14 equals
minus
0.
14 equals to 0. And then you do your factorization. So you have x into x squared goes x times, x into minus 7 goes minus 7 times. And then for this one, what's the factor? What's the highest common factor? What's the highest common factor between 2x? 2. So 2 into 2x gives you x. 2 into negative 14 gives you?
Negative 7. Negative 7.
Equals to 0. So now you have x plus 2, x minus 7 equals to 0. So now both of them become solutions. So you have x plus 2 equals to 0 and x minus 7 equals to 0. And so we solve as usual. X equals minus 2 here, because you carry over the plus 2 across the equal sign. And this x is going to be equal to positive 7. That's what you got?
Yes, miss. Got that part.
All right, great. So I'm going to erase the first one just to make space to work the third one. Alyssa, did you write off this first one already?
Yes, miss. I'm writing off the second one.
All right, great. So I'll just erase this one.
Okay.
All right, so let's go. That one is x squared plus 15x plus 50 equals to 0.
Equals 0.
All right, so what's the two numbers that you found now?
10 and 5.
What kind
5
of
and
10?
10.
Positive?
Positive 10. Yes, miss.
Plus 10x. You have to give me signs, you know, signs are very important.
Yes. Okay.
Plus 5x.
Plus 5x plus 50 equals 0.
Equals to 0. So then we
you
factor out those and factorize that. All right, so let's go. What's the highest common factor?
Yeah. X.
All right. X into x squared.
Because x.
X into 10x.
10.
What kind of 10?
Positive 10.
Plus 10. And then what's the factor for the second pair?
And positive 5.
Positive 5 into 5x.
Positive x.
X. 5, positive 5 into
and
50.
Then positive 10.
Great. Good. So you have x plus 10 in one bracket, and then x plus
5
in another bracket, both equals to 0. So the two the two possible solutions are x plus 10 equals to 0.
0. X equals minus 5.
X plus 5 equals to 0. Then solve it for this one. X equals
minus 10. And then x equals minus 5.
Right. Excellent. So we have done 2 more, 3 more. So are you comfortable now with the quadratic equation? Because all it is really is understanding that the quadratic equation is equal to 0 and that you have 2 possible answers that you will derive from the 2 brackets that you would get when you factorize. Yes?
Okay. Miss, with a little bit more practice, I'll be there for sure.
Okay. All right. No problem. And with math in general, it's only with practice that you're going to be there. So I'm sure sir will send some other questions
Practice.
that you can use for practice, and that he will go over a few of them for practice purposes on Saturday. So moving
Okay.
along now, we're still on quadratic equations, right? Now, I said to you earlier, and I know it's going to be a little bit difficult to appreciate because we haven't done coordinate geometry yet. But I said to you earlier that the reason why you get two possible solutions is based on where when you if you should plot the quadratic expression on a graph, it would cut the x-axis at two 2 points. So it will cut the x-axis at two particular points anywhere along this horizontal line. But what happens when it is that you have a quadratic expression and it sits somewhere like this and it doesn't touch the x-axis any at all? Now, the thing with that is that you when you get a question to work, you don't know that, right? You don't know that this quadratic, when you draw it, it don't touch the line.
Okay.
How you will know that something is wrong with this quadratic expression is that when you're trying to find, those two numbers that you try to split the middle number, the middle term in. For
Yes,
everybody
miss.
follow me? Remember, so you're supposed to find two
Yeah, two
numbers
middle
to split
numbers.
that
Yes,
Yes.
middle
miss.
thing, right? Whenever you can't find two, there can be occasions where you cannot find two possible numbers, right?
Okay.
There are those occasions, and when that happens, if from the graph perspective, this is what is taking place, right? You
Okay.
just it don't cut it nowhere, so you can't find the x just like how you would usually find it. And so for those scenarios, for whenever that happens, we have an alternate way that we use to solve quadratic equations, not the expressions, but the equations. So that alternate way is a formula that I'm going to give you now. So you need to write down this formula.
Okay. Oh. Miss, is that a positive over a negative?
Yes, it is. All right, so I just put down the bottom here because in the formula you see I have B and A and C and A. I just want to remind you where the A and the B and the C. Remember when we started quadratic, I had shown you that this is the general formula or form that a quadratic equation or expression will take.
Yes, miss.
And I pointed out the A and the B and the C to you.
Yes, miss.
Again, you will need to be able to identify them because that's what you're going to have to plug into these formulae, into this formula, right? All
Okay.
right, so I'm just going to show you how this quadratic expression is utilized. Should be
Miss,
should
is
be
this like finding the root of the equation?
No, it's not finding the root of the equation. It's just an equation that has a square root in it.
Okay.
Yeah, just an equation with a square root in it. So it's not finding the root itself, but it have a square root in it. So
Okay.
just give me a moment. I have a question. I just need to find my question. think I'm sharing the wrong screen, so I need to reshare. Share on screen 2. Are you seeing the right thing now?
No, miss. Oh, yes, yes.
No?
Yes, miss.
Good. All right, so let me just. All right, excellent. So let's go. So let us take no, I can't find my cursor. Oh boy. All right, here we go. I can't find my cursor. Where am I? Oh Lord. Can't find it. No. I'm having technical difficulties. Bear with me. Can't find my cursor. I'm not sure why my pen doesn't seem to be working. Wait a minute, please. I probably need some help to figure out why I can't I'm not able to write. Right. I think I'm going to have to share a different screen. All right. So, all right, great. So have you written off what I have here on the screen? Okay, so I can make some space. All right, so we're
Yes,
going,
miss.
everybody still with me? Sorry for the technical difficulties.
Yes, miss. Still here.
Okay.
All right, so we're going to use this formula to solve this quadratic equation. X squared plus 6x minus 14, right? So we're solving this using the quadratic equation. Now, for me personally, whenever I'm using an equation, I always like to write back my equation. So I'm going to start with doing that. Sort of helps me to ensure that, I remember the equation. So the equation is b squared minus 4 times a times c, and this is all over 2a. Everybody following?
So far.
Yes, miss.
So far, I have to do a right back. No, so
Yes,
what you
miss.
need to do now is to hmm, something looks wrong with this equation. This equation is wrong, and I think I'm missing something with this equation. Give me a moment. Let me just double check. It look wrong. There's supposed to be a b in front of, yeah, it's negative b here. I know it look wrong. So please fix that for me. There's supposed to be a negative b right there, and catch it up. All right, I'm gonna catch it here. Negative b. All right, so let's go now. So it says negative b plus or minus. So we're going to put what is b in this equation?
Being this week would be 6.
B is, you have to tell
6.
me sign. B is what?
Positive 6.
So B is positive 6. So this equation is calling for negative b. So whatever b is, you're going to negative it. That's
Okay,
not a
that'll be
word, but
negative 6.
So it will be negative 6
Yes.
square root. What is b again?
B is positive 6.
B is 6. So you have positive 6 squared
6 squared.
minus 4 times a. What is a?
4 times x.
What is
X
a?
squared. X. 4 times
Remember,
x.
a is a coefficient. A is a
Okay. No,
number.
it's for 1. 4 would be 4
1,
times
positive
1
1. And what is C?
times 15. C would be
C is,
15. Positive 15.
which part you get 15 from?
Oh, it's 14. Sorry, miss. Sorry.
And it's not positive,
See there now?
negative.
Negative 14.
So negative 14.
I
All
just
right. So,
yeah.
so all you're doing so far is substituting, yes? And that's over
Okay.
2 times A. What is A?
2 times 1.
1. All right. So now that you have this here, what you need to do now, and this is plus or minus, you can't leave out the plus or minus. So what you need to do, now that you have this here, you need to go ahead and you need to do some working out now. So let us start with, so this part here that says 6, the negative 6 outside here, so it remains, right? We'll deal with that last,
Okay, so that's negative 6 plus minus.
right? So it's negative 6 plus or minus.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
And then we're going to go ahead and work out what's in this first part here. So positive 6 squared gives you what?
36.
36. So we're working out this part here,
Should be
this
6
part.
times 6.
6 times 6 is
Yes.
36.
36.
Good. And then we're working on this part now. So remember this negative sign is for
36
the 4. So it's negative 4 times
times
1. What
1.
is that?
Negative
Negative
4.
Negative 4 times 1 is what? Is negative 4. And negative 4 times negative 14 is what?
14.
No, not,
No,
it's
4
it
times 14.
multiplied.
Oh, 4 4 6.
So you
56.
do negative 4 times 1 is negative 4. And then negative 4 times negative 14.
Is 56.
What kind of 56?
Positive 56.
Positive.
Positive, because negative and negative gives you positive, all right? So that would be
Yes.
positive 56.
56.
And that is all over 2 times 1, which is what?
2.
Which is 2.
2.
So then, I'm going to work a little back way because I need some space I'm going to have. Let's see if I can find some more space. All right, let's hope you work out up to there so far. All right, so now, again, we're going to do some working out because we still have numbers underneath a root sign that we need to get rid of. So let's work out the root sign first. So put back our negative 6
Mm-hmm.
plus or minus, and we're working out what's under the root now. So it's the root of 36 plus 56. What's that?
90.
Add again. 36 plus
What's
56.
this? 54, 56.
56,
36 plus
sorry.
92.
54.
92. Good.
92.
So that's
This is
92. I'm a bad writing bad, sorry. Over 2. So we have this right here, which is at this stage now, you're at a place where you can better work out. So what you can find is you can start if you notice. For so I'm kind of fumbling because we're going to expire in a few minutes, and I want to make sure I work out this question first. The link is going to expire. So if you get cut off, that's why. All right. So you have negative 6 here. So remember when we work a quadratic, you would have two possible solutions, right?
Okay.
So that's where this plus or minus comes in. So you can have a negative 6 plus or minus. What is the square root of 92? You need a calculator.
Hold on.
oh, what's it?
Uh, 46? No.
Root.
46.
Not divided
Oh,
by 6,
sorry,
not the
miss.
root.
Sorry. The root would be
What's that? 9.59.
All right. So we never want it to be a fraction, but we're gonna work with it. 9 point, let's go with 9.6. So that's
Pardon?
9.6 over
9.6.
2. Yeah, because it's 9.5.
Around it. Okay.
Yeah, I just wrote it off. I didn't want it to be a fraction, but since it's a fraction,
Okay.
we work
Okay.
with it. All right. So you end up with this now, and you can go ahead and you can work it out even further. So you can have two possible solutions. So let me show you what those two possible solutions would be. One would be with
Negative.
a plus sign, and one would be with a minus sign. So we would have equal -6 plus
6.
9.6 over 2. And then the next solution would be -6 minus 9.6 over 2, right? And I hope you see where I get that from, because in the formula you have plus or minus, right? So the
Okay.
two possible solution, one is going to be with a plus and one is going to be
with a minus.
with a minus. And so all you have to do now is work out these to get the answer. So if you plug this in your calculator, you should get,
Mrs. Barnes.
yes,
Excuse me, please. What do you have here? -6 plus 9.6 over 2, right?
Yes.
right?
And the -6 again, that should be a +6.
The same -6, because remember this negative, don't change it. This -6 is what we get. Remember the formula said minus b, and 6 was the b. So this -6 is the same. The only thing that changed is the plus or minus. Why? Because the formula having plus or minus.
Okay.
You see that formula from the
Okay.
beginning? Let me show you in the formula. In the formula over here, so it's
Yeah.
I don't remember who did ask me if that was a plus or a minus, but the
I
plus or
did.
minus has always been there. It's
Okay.
a part of the formula.
Yeah.
And so that is where when you reach down the bottom now, so there when you reach down here, so now that plus or minus is what splits out now into two separate formula to give you one solution and the other solution, right?
Okay.
Clear up for you
So far.
so far? All right. So once you punch this in a calculator, you should get a value for x. You should get two values for x.
So that would be minus.
Let's see, 6 plus this should give you 9.6 minus.
0.6. So would it be 3.6 over 2
Yeah, I
on
think
the
so. I think
first
this is
one?
1.8. Yeah, I think this one is 1.8.
And one should be
1.8,
3.6.
9.6. 15 point minus 15. I think this one would be
Okay. Yes.
minus 4.62. Please confirm this. I just did a rough check.
Divided by 2.
So these would be the two possible answers for x. One would be 1.8 and one would be 4.62.
I'm checking. Okay.
If our link expires, just go back to the group, and Sarah will send another one. I just want to give you one more question for this, so we can do that tonight before we leave. We won't pass 8:45. All right.
Okay, no problem.
Okay. This not properly.
So all you do is just stick this in the calculator and tell me if you get the minus 4.62 that I get, please.
Miss, for the one that I got 1.8, I think I'm
It's the
seeing
same thing. It's the
minus.
same thing like when you.
I think I'm seeing minus 1.2. for the
It,
1.8. When I
it
plug
can
it
be
in.
minus because look here, so now. Let me tell you why. It can be minus because you're going to have
Oh, because it's like,
9.6, it's minus 6,